Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about HOMEWORX Pistachio Cranberry Bark. This is one of their standard 4-wick, 18-ounce vessels, and I did purchase this candle myself from the Slatkin & Co. website. I am a brand ambassador for them. However, I do always disclose if a candle was sent to me in PR or if I purchased the candle myself. And I actually purchased this, I want to say maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago. They were running a sale where I think they had this marked down to like $22, but they were offering a free shipping day. And I actually had some shop pay cash that I was able to apply to the purchase. So I'm just gonna go on a little tangent here. If you use that shop pay app on your phone, or I don't know if they have a browser extension on, like a desktop or laptop, but if you have the shop pay app, you can actually access the Slatkin & Co. company store through that shop pay. And if you have accumulated what is basically called shop pay cash, it's kind of like cash back, similar to like Rakuten or Retail Me Not or Top Cash Back. They will give you dollars that you can spend on a lot of retailers in that within the shop pay app. So for me, I had like almost $10 worth of shop pay cash. So I did decide to go ahead and apply that to this candle. So just a little, fun tangent there. This video is not sponsored, nothing like that. I am just always trying to share with all of you guys how you can save some extra money because buying these candles gets a little bit expensive. So anyways, that is how I purchased this candle. I think I spent around like $12 on it. And I'm kind of happy that that's all I spent on it. That might be a little bit of a harbinger for how this review is going to go. So let's go ahead and talk about this candle. First and foremost, the packaging, as always with HOMEWORX, is probably some of the best in the business. I do love their 4-wick vessels with these beautiful photographic wraparound labels. You can see the ambiance that comes from these flames being lit behind this label. It's really the best in my opinion. The pour date of this candle that I am reviewing is May 8th, 2024. I do have listed in the description box down below, in case you are new to my channel, I list my home dimensions, my environmental factors, all of that kind of stuff for you to know, so that way you can compare it to your home to see, if this review would be helpful to you determining whether or not you should add this candle to your collection. So the fragrance notes on this candle listed on the bottom of the vessel are crushed pistachio, red cranberry, hazelnut puree, and vanilla bean. When you go on the Slatkin & Co. website, they oftentimes give you a little bit more of a detailed scent story. On the website, the top notes are listed as zesty bergamot, tart cranberry, crushed pistachios. Mid notes of praline and sweetened hazelnut, and base note of vanilla bean and Santamanol, which I believe is a derivative of sandalwood. So what does my nose smell? First and foremost, you guys, I actually really like this fragrance. It's more of a fragrance that I would gravitate towards more so, maybe I would say like November or January. I call fragrances like these like holiday flankers, meaning that when the Christmas season runs around, that's the holiday that I celebrate in my home. So once I put my Christmas decor up like late November, and I keep it up usually until New Year's, I pretty much focus on tree scents, holiday spice, holiday gourmand, maybe some peppermint, fragrances that honestly are quite nostalgic to me when it comes to the Christmas season. However, leading up to that point, meaning November and then also in January afterwards, I'm oftentimes a little bit more flexible, I would say, in the fragrances that I want. Usually, like right now, I'm starting to get a little bit tired of all of the apple and the pumpkin. And after the holidays, I usually want something that's still kind of gourmand and sweet, but also maybe a little bit more fruity because I'm tired of tree and super heavy spice. So this fragrance, I actually think is a good fragrance, like I said, to burn in November or January if you are a seasonal burner like I am. I do pick up the Tart Cranberry in here, but and the nuttiness, there is a nuttiness to this that kind of balances out what otherwise is a very much like a candied confectionery type of fragrance. It's not listed anywhere in here, but when this candle is burning, I almost get like a white chocolate type of vibe going on from it. You do detect some of the fruitiness, like I said, from the Tart Cranberry in here. And it is interesting that they put a Zesty Bergamot. Bergamot in and of itself has like a citrus type of fragrance. And while I don't really detect anything super citrusy in here, it does lend an extra element of sweetness to kind of maybe balance out that fruity note of the Tart Cranberry in here. But there is a nuttiness coming from pistachio and hazelnut, but I do think that those nutty notes combined with the base note of like a vanilla bean, and like they're saying whatever the Santamanol is, which is a derivative of sandalwood, that vanilla bean mixed with those nutty notes, to my nose, when this candle is burning, comes across a little bit more like a white chocolate accord, which I'm not mad about. And obviously that's what we're seeing here pictured if it's like a cranberry bark. If you've ever had like these type of bark desserts during the holidays, they're usually very sweet, but you know, there's also maybe a little bit of like creaminess that goes with the white chocolate, or sometimes there's a dark chocolate with it. I actually just really like the fragrance. It's a nice like take on a candied scent without that candied becoming too artificial or too cloyingly sweet. I do like it because, like I said, that there's kind of a creamy element that reminds me of white chocolate to balance that all out. Now, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle because you can see right here that the wicks are a little bit thin and there is quite a bit of wick residue in the wax pool. These are self-trimming wicks, although I have been slightly trimming. There, you can see a little tiny carbon ball usually forms at the end of these wicks. And, you know, it's not the end of the world, but I do kind of trim those off gently before I burn this candle. I will say that this candle, in true HOMEWORX 2024 fashion, the first burn did take quite a bit longer to pull out than successive burns. So I always say this with HOMEWORX candles: on your first burn, you want to allocate probably a good 4 to 5 hours to let the candle completely pull out. Not all of them are doing that, but I do find that on some of these candles, they have been doing that. And so I've just kind of taken that policy across the board with all of my HOMEWORX candles. These wicks are a little bit thinner. However, they're not falling over. They're not leaning. I'm not having issues with that. But here's what I'm going to say. The first 2 burns on this candle, I thought I got a complete dud. So I typically start out my candles burning them in my master bedroom, which has more, you know, closed concept, lower ceilings. And honestly, you guys, the first 2 burns of this, I couldn't even smell it in my master bedroom. And I was like, what is going on with this fragrance? Because I liked it on cold, and while it was slightly light, it wasn't super, super light. And I was like, what is going on with this fragrance? So on the 3rd burn, I did notice it a lot more. I did notice the fragrance. It still was not a like smack me in the face. I would say it was somewhere like around a 5. Now that I am a little bit past the halfway mark, I will say that the burn that I did on this the last 2 times and then today, that this fragrance is still settling somewhere. I would say it's about a 5.5, 6. This is not a fragrance that is going to punch you in the face. And if you're planning on burning this in an open concept room, I don't think you're going to get the performance you want from it. It does do decently in my more closed concept rooms. So I personally have designated this to be what I call one of my like bedroom candles. You know, it either gets burned in my master bedroom or I burn it in my daughter's bedroom to complement some other fragrances that I am currently burning in my rotation. And I'll tell you what fragrances it complements in just a moment. But yeah, it's only around a 5 to 6. If you're planning to burn this in a huge open concept, you're probably going to be disappointed. However, if you have, you know, a smaller space, maybe an apartment or maybe a more traditional closed concept style of home, you are probably going to smell it, but be aware that it might take a couple of burns. And personally, that's a little bit unacceptable to me because like I said, I only spent $12 on this candle, but these fragrances are expensive. And I believe that like to not really get any fragrance at all from the first, like what would that be? Maybe like the first 8 hours of burn time on this candle. I think they do need to take a look at that. I don't know what's going on with a lot of these candle companies. I mean, I feel like I'm running into that with a lot of fragrance, I don't want to say a lot of fragrances, a lot of candle companies. Some candles, they perform well for me out of the gate and other ones not so much. And it's happening across all of the brands. So I don't know, maybe it's my home, maybe it's my nose. I do still have temperatures in the daytime highs of like mid 80s. We're actually creeping back into the low 90s a couple of days this week, which I'm like, oh my gosh, make it stop. So I do still have air conditioning on in my house and I do have ceiling fans on. So that might help with getting, you know, the ceiling fans helps with airflow, but yeah, you guys, this one just, it doesn't project as well as I would like it to. Now that being said, I feel like the nature of this fragrance, I would actually probably be happier with it. I think if it was like around like a 7, I think that was probably like the potential for where this fragrance could be, because any stronger, I think that it's going to become a little bit too, maybe like it would run the risk of becoming like scorched or burned smelling. Just because of that combination of the nuttiness with the vanilla. But yeah, I wanted more from this one. It's not going to be a repurchase for me. However, it does pair really nicely with a couple of other fragrances that I currently have from Slatkin & Co. And if you have them in your collection, maybe you've already ordered this and it's already in yours and you're like, oh, great. So this one does pair really nicely with, I just got in last week, the Snow Day candle. That one also kind of has like a soft kind of candied fragrance to it. The two of them complement each other really well. If you have the pistachio macaron candle, that one pairs nicely with this. I've also been burning it with cranberry sauce, believe it or not. I think that those pair nicely together. And also I could see this one going really nicely with a couple of tree fragrances from any brand. Really pick your favorite tree fragrance and I think that it will pair nicely. But overall, you guys, I wanted the performance to be a little bit stronger. I would say that this is a candle, if you are interested in it, probably pick it up on a deep discount or maybe see if you can come across it in the wild. I do have a discount code with Slatkin & Co. It is Katie's Joyful Life. It should save you 15% on orders over $40. That usually can't be combined when they are running the really good discounted sales, but you can always try it and see if it works. But you guys know me, I will always tell you guys, save the most amount of money that you can. So if that means that my code can't be used and there's another one in place, then always take that route. But overall, you guys, I give it 1 thumb up for the fragrance because I do like it. Maybe if you have a candle lamp and that's the way that you tend to, you know, use home fragrance, then you would probably be happy with this. But for me, this is going to be a one and done, unfortunately. Good fragrance, but I just wanted a little bit more from the performance. Feel free to comment down below if you have excuse me, purchased this candle already, what your experience has been. I always encourage commentary. My community is very great here on this channel, and I know that you guys are always respectful of others, but I do always like other people to chime in what their burn experiences have been, because I and a lot of other reviewers, we always say we are just one of many voices, and getting more information is always helpful for all of us in making our purchasing decisions. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment down below. Please hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.